Today we're looking at this ATEX pneumatic-powered stacker truck designed for lifting and tipping drums. It's a three-function unit, so it's got powered lifting, clamping and rotation. We've got our airline connected, which powers all the functions, and we can now move it forwards around this drum to tip it into the vessel. Once we move it forward, it's important we check that we're nice and aligned, so the pads are in the centre line of the drum. We can then press our clamp button. On the rear panel we have a pressure gauge, and this is telling us how much pressure we've got pushing on the sides of the drum. So now we're in the green segment, this tells us we're safe to lift. What we're going to be doing is, on this model we have a weighing display, so this is telling you the weight of the drum and its contents. So we're going to lift it up and decant from it, and then we'll show you how the system weighs the drum and tells us how much we're emptying from the drum. Once we're at height, we move it forward so the drum just about touches the vessel. We then tip the unit forward. Into the horizontal, making sure our tap is well over the vessel. I'm then going to walk forwards, up towards the tap, and from here I can see the weighing display telling us how much liquid is in the drum. And I can decant, monitoring how much we're emptying. So for batch purposes, it's really good if we have a particular recipe, we can measure how much we're decanting into our vessel. Once we've decanted the appropriate amount, we can lower the drum down and get another product if needed. The load cell weighing system is accurate to 0.1 kilograms, so it's a very accurate system, ideal for many processes. So we go back to the rear of the machine, we bring it backwards, and then we'll return the drum back to the vertical. We then lower it down. When on the ground, to unclamp the drum, we need to use two hands. We press two unclamp buttons at the same time. When the drum's fully unclamped, the pressure gauge reads 0. It's important we have this dual mechanism to prevent unclamping of a drum at height. An additional safety feature is that when the drum is lifted off the ground to height, it's not possible to open the clamps because we don't want someone to accidentally open the clamps and drop a drum from height. So we have a double safety system regarding the clamping system. We can now pull the unit away, bring in another drum, and empty that into the vessel. We're now going to tip this Mauser drum, which is a 220 litre drum. Again, we bring the unit forwards, we check that the pads are in the centre of the drum, so I'm happy with that. We then come to the back and press our clamp button. We lift the drum so it's in the green segment on the gauge. We'll move it forward just so the drum's touching the edge of the vessel, so about there, and then we can do our tipping. We're now looking at the rear panel of the machine. You can see on the right hand side we have an emergency stop button. To activate this, we press it down and this cuts all power to the unit. To reset it, we twist it clockwise and it pops up. In the centre here we have our clamp and unclamp controls. To clamp a drum, we hold down the clamp button. And you can see the pressure gauge in the centre has a needle which moves from red through yellow up into the green segment. It's important that the drum is correctly compressed to ensure it does not slip out of the head during use. To unclamp the drum, we must use two hands and press unclamp on both sides of the panel. You can see the gauge goes down to 0. To lift the drum, we press the lift button, and to lower the lower. And we also have tip forward and return. As mentioned, this is an air-powered machine, so it requires an airline connection to be plugged into the control box to power the functions.